We are back for another Christian review of regular books, and today we are discussing Daisy Jones and the Six. For those of you who've never seen one of these videos before, here's how it's going to go down. First, I do my regular review, what you know and love to expect from a book review, star rating, my own personal opinion, etc. But then I get into my Christian reviews, and that's where I go over the basic piece of a book that may or may not have a fellow believer or really anyone wanting to read it. I give more caveats and any more information you may need about these reviews at the video that's pinned at the top of the playlist, or you should be able to click here somewhere. However, if you're still here, let's go ahead and get into my regular review. Daisy Jones and the Six follows Daisy and all of her band, that's the Six, and they go and perform. It takes place in the 1970s. It talks about them creating albums, their performances, the relationship dynamics, loss of relationship dynamics, etc., 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 throughout the course of the book. In so many ways, I loved this type of historical fiction where you're learning about a band, but I did struggle because a lot of the characters are highly unlikable, especially at the beginning. I really struggled with deciding on who I was going to root for, and none of them felt to me like one that I really wanted to cheer on, even as I got through the rest of the book. Daisy Jones and the Six takes place as if it was an interview. So everything is done almost manuscript, and you see, the name of the person and then them talking. Now, some of their talks or their chats with the interviewer go on for an extended period of time, so you get multiple paragraphs, but there are a lot of other parts where there's multiple people speaking at the same time, and you see it as kind of that like interview or manuscript type feel. In that way, this book is probably best for audiobook listeners if you are a fan of audiobooks at all, because you get more of the experience in that way. On top of that, it's a full cast narration, so you get all the characters' voices that are different. And so as you listen to it, it feels more like you're listening to a TV show or an interview in your ears instead of feeling like you're reading an interview out of a magazine or something like that. What started for me as really slow in the beginning and struggling to really figure out how I felt about these characters and their behaviors ended up with an ending that completely blew me away. It delivered in such a way that I never saw coming, and I absolutely love how it ended. Because of its ending and its ending alone, it ended up at a 4.5 stars. It probably would have rated more closely to like 3.5 or 4 before the ending hit. So that just really shows you how much it does wrap up in a way that is so mind-blowing, and I think does an incredible job. If you want to see more of what I'm reading day to day, you can do so by following me on Goodreads. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and I do have my own YouTube channel, so you can see more of my life and reading journey. If you want to find those things, you can check down below in the description box for all the links. Now let's go ahead and get into my Christian review. The first category I always love to touch on is smut or spice, and no, there's no explicitly described scenes. Again, this is all done as if it's an interview of the band, so there's no way for that to really have like explicitly described sex scenes. And honestly, for that, I'm grateful. The second category is explicit language. And yes, there is some explicit language throughout the course of this book. I think it makes sense for the band and what their style of life was. It doesn't feel too excessive, but it's there. And the third category is substance abuse. There is a fair bit of substance abuse and alcohol use throughout the course of this book. It is a lot. And there's a long talk about addiction and dealing with addiction and the existence of it within the course of the band relationship, and they're trying to perform and all of the pieces that go along with it. It's definitely something that you cannot avoid and really is an instrumental part of the story and some of the dynamics that happen throughout the course of it. This book is probably best for any kid 16 and up. Again, I would recommend the audiobook though, no matter what, because I do think the audiobook gives a much more well-rounded experience of the read. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell before you go so you can stay up to date on all of these Christian reviews of regular books, plus me and my mom's podcast, The Journey We Share. On top of the opportunity for you to stay up to date, it also helps us know that the content we're providing is content you want to keep seeing. And since we're a nonprofit, it's like a free way for you to donate that we are able to work together. So please don't forget to do those things before you go, or even leave a comment down below. And I cannot wait until we see you on the next one.